We can talk with our coats on, shivering till it's nearly dawn, and I won't even wrap my arms around you. We can talk about anything, the gravesites of our future beings, and what it must feel like to be gone so soon. And I think I locked my heart up nice and tight.
Hello and welcome everyone to another video. Today's video is going to be a little different from all the things that I've done before. I want to show you how I make my notebooks myself. This has been quite requested and I want to make a notebook dedicated to our wedding. So I figured I would take you along while doing that and also answer your most asked question all about the engagement and the wedding. So get yourself a drink, get yourself all the supplies that you'll need, and let's make a dreamy little notebook together. I quickly want to preface this video by thanking all of you for all the love and support on our engagement video. It means so much. Thank you so much for all the congratulations. Yeah, as said, we've been keeping this as like a little secret, or basically just keeping it to ourselves since last year, April. So yeah, it was quite fun to be open about this, and I really appreciate all of your kind words. So let's get into making these books. It's a very creative thing to do. This is something that I do quite often. I do love this one. I don't love the same color, but at the time I didn't have anything different. So yeah, it's quite easy to make this. All that you need is some sort of paper. I like to buy sketch paper, especially ones for watercoloring. This is too much, like you don't need all of this. But I just really love a structured paper. You will also need some sewing supplies. Basically all you need are some scissors, a needle for hand sewing, and some type of yarn. And then last but not least, some dreamy vintage fabrics. Basically whatever you want. I have some different here because I don't know what I want to do, so yeah, we can decide on that a little later. Okay, so the first thing that you want to start with is to just get as many papers as you want to use. Basically the amount of paper you're going to use is going to make 4 times as pages, because you're going to like fold it like this. And so you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So just figure out how many of these you like. I like to make some smaller individual books and then put them all together. You can make one like thick one as well. With this paper it's kind of thin, it works too. I'm gonna do 6 times 3. But let's start with the first question. I asked you on Instagram and YouTube too. So let's see. I feel like one of the most asked question was, how did you meet? Was it an easy decision to get married? So happy for you. That's very sweet. But like basically the question of how we met. So we met about 2.5 years ago when doing volunteer work. So I was volunteering at an orphanage and he was volunteering working with disabled people, and we kind of worked there or like volunteered there through the same organization. So that is how we met. And basically after meeting we didn't really have that much contact for a while, but then at some point it kind of like started off and we really felt a deep connection. So things went kind of quick, but very well. It's kind of like how I feel about it, at least. And the funny thing is that while I currently am not making like my volunteer work a career at the orphanage, my fiance actually ended up loving it. And he is now working on getting a degree in social studies to work with disabled people. So now I'm just like ripping these little bits off, or you can cut them off, basically all the bits that was attached, so that I have perfectly straight pages. If you have like some regular paper, you obviously can skip this step. Okay, so the entire question on was it easy to make the decision to get married is kind of quickly answered for me. Because I feel like at the point where you have a child together, getting married isn't that big of a commitment. It if I'm being honest, because I feel like worst case scenario, you can always divorce, but you cannot unhave a child with someone. So I think the decision was really easy. I, funnily enough, never saw myself married. Like, it never was something that I was very keen on. I was never one of these young girls who planned out their wedding, which there's nothing wrong with it. It was just not for me. I always imagined like having a big career first, which is funny because it's not what I'm interested in now at all. So yeah, I feel like the decision was really easy. And for me, getting married is also, which might sound weird to some people now, about the surname. My family name right now isn't a family name because the last name that I have, none of my parents have. Basically, my parents both remarried and took their new partner's last name. And everyone else in the family, I mean, I don't have any siblings or anything, so no one else has the same last name as I have. And I struggle with kind of like belonging, especially like a couple of years ago. I went through a phase where I definitely felt like I really wanted a last name that would connect me with someone. And so when I got pregnant, we decided that we wanted Teddy to have his dad's last name because he has siblings, he has his whole family, and this entire group of people with the same last name. So I felt like that was beautiful for him, so that he belonged with them. But it also made me feel even lonelier because now even my own child doesn't share the same last name that I have. And so I am also gonna take that new name. I'm just gonna let go of my maiden name, which for me is really easy because I don't connect anything with it really. Not really anything bad, but also nothing good. So for me, it's fine. Okay, so if you have a bigger stack of paper like I have, I would divide it. It's just what I always do. I'm gonna do, as said, 2 times 6. And then all you really need is a needle and some yarn. And all I'm gonna do is kind of stitch down the middle. So to make this easier, I'm just gonna fold it in half to give me the outline of where to sew. So I make sure that I have enough yarn to kind of like triple cover the length that I want to go with. And then I do this stitch where I kind of go forth and then back. So basically I'm just starting all the way on top of the page, just going through like that, pulling it almost all the way through. And then from here, I'm just gonna go back, so from the outside in. I'm just always making sure that I stay on the line that I folded myself. Now just tie these two together. This is not the professional way of doing it, but I like it. I love how these little notebooks turned out. As said, I don't even know where this idea originated. I have just been doing this for what feels like ever. Okay, so for the stitch, basically what I'm doing is, if you start like this, I go down, making one hole. Then when my needle is back here, I am gonna take it back through the hole that I made prior. And just kind of doing this all down the page. So now going a little bit further down and back through the little hole that I created. Just gonna do this all the way down on all the little blocks of paper that you basically want to use. So you're making, like in my case, 3 little books and then combining them to one big. So I feel like the next question, this is probably even more asked, is the one about the wedding dress. If I have one yet, if I'm gonna do a short one or a long one, if it's going to be a 70s style or a 60s style, if it's going to be vintage, if it's going to be custom. And I don't want to take it all away. I'll definitely take you through a bunch of prepping. I have my heart set on 2 wedding dresses. So basically, we're gonna have a regular courthouse wedding and then a backyard party. Some people also asked about the venue. We actually quickly thought about booking like a big venue, but it is crazy expensive, and it also didn't seem like something that we wanted to do because they were like, you have to take our flowers and our cakes and our food. We were like, yeah, no, we much rather don't want to do that. So we will get married in my boyfriend's parents' backyard. I mean, not get married there. I have to like readjust to not saying boyfriend but fiance now. But we're gonna get married at the courthouse and then just go there for a big party. And with big, I mean like 50 people probably. It's not going to be that big. And yeah, my heart is set on 2 dresses. One vintage, one custom made, but the custom made one is also like modeled after a vintage dress. One is going to be short, one is going to be long. I couldn't decide, so I'm gonna go very mid-early 60s for the short one for the courthouse, and then for the party probably go with something longer. For the longer one, I'm not 100% sure. I'm just currently checking Vinted and everything for dreamy like vintage wedding dresses. And the short one, my dear friend Coco is gonna make for me. She's the owner of the Belated Beatnik. I've talked about her and her boutique a bunch before. She makes the most dreamy 60s and 70s clothes, and I reached out to her and asked her if she could make me this dress, and she agreed, and I am so happy about that. Honestly, it means so much. And yeah, so the wedding styling is definitely gonna have both of that for now, because that was also a question. I don't know if I'm gonna do my own hair and makeup. I would love not to. I actually have a friend who's absolutely amazing, and she's a hairstylist and makeup artist, and she's also an artist. She's just the most amazing person, honestly. It's funny, we met through making movies when we were both still in school, and then I connected her with my mom because my mom got like remarried a couple of years ago, and so she did her makeup for the wedding. But she's just so talented with all of these looks that I think she would be the perfect fit. She has a show during that month, so we will definitely see if it is possible for her to do it. I'd love that. Which brings me to the next question, which is when we are getting married. June 8th actually, in case you're wondering. Yeah, we're gonna have a courthouse date, so we're gonna start at the courthouse in like later morning, early noon. In Germany, it's actually possible to get an appointment at the courthouse on Saturday, so we gladly took that. And yeah, I'm actually really excited about it. The next question is if we are going to have a theme for the wedding. And I think the answer is kind of yes and no. I definitely do want the wedding to have like a vintagey late 60s feel. Definitely focusing on like the late 60s and that kind of time, but I don't want people to go all out. Like, I don't expect anyone to buy a dress from that area or a suit from that era and just kind of go full out. I really don't. I appreciate it, but honestly, I think whoever wants to come can wear, but I just want people to know that they can basically wear whatever they want and what makes them feel confident. And I'll probably be way more dressed up than most of the other people, but I don't care. And I do have some friends who love to dress up, so maybe they'll join in. But overall, I don't really care to know that everyone is fitting a certain aesthetic on that day. I just want everyone to feel confident and happy, and yeah, I just want to have some fun on this day, honestly. I hope that it's going to be quite warm. Early June is kind of hit or miss in Germany. There is a chance that it might rain the entire day. I just hope it won't. But I'd love for a hot day, because then we could all go swimming at the end of the night. Because my fiance's parents have like a backyard kind of pool, but it's not heated. So if it isn't very warm, that's going to be a cold thing to do. And then I also would love a bonfire in the backyard. That's kind of what I'm picturing right now. But if I'm being fully honest, I haven't put too much thought in it yet. All I know is that I want to make as much as possible by myself and like with the help from friends. I want to have some great decor pieces. I want to thrift a lot of the pieces. I think I'm going to do like a little wedding series where I basically take you along through all of that, like thrifting for some centerpieces and all of that. And I honestly feel like that would be something fun. So let me know if you would like to see that. There are so many questions basically all about, have you picked the wedding dress? Is it long? Is it short? I feel like that's just the most commonly asked question. Do you have a venue? Which as said, we're going to do with the whole backyard thing. Okay, so the next question is whether it is common in Germany to do this something old, something new thing. So basically there's this saying that goes something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. And it's supposed to bring you luck, like if the bride has all of this at her wedding day, as like part of her dress or her outfit basically. And I really would love to do that. I don't even know if that is like common in Germany to do, but I'd honestly love to do that. I mean, the something old and something new I can cover with my dresses, because one is going to be old and one is going to be new. One might have blue detailing, I'm not too sure about that yet. And then something borrowed. I think I might ask my maid of honor to borrow me something. That would be great. I do love sayings like that, and I am definitely all for that. So I feel like doing that would actually be great fun. So one other question kind of related to the dress question is, where do I get it? As said, I'm gonna get one custom made, and then the other one vintage. I looked on eBay and Etsy, and dresses are crazily expensive. Vintage is a lot more reasonable, but a lot of the dresses are in bad condition. Also, I'm fully prepared to get a dress that doesn't really fit me, like especially compared to the one that is custom made that's going to fit like a glove. But I am just gonna do all the alterations myself. At least I hope I'm able to. So I'm just trying to find something that is sort of my size. If it is a little big or a little small, I can definitely work with that. So yeah, we will definitely see about that. I'm just gonna take you along and share everything with you. As said, not too sure about the dresses beforehand, but everything that I don't want to share with you before the wedding, I will make sure to share afterwards. Like a little recap kind of thing, I guess. Okay, so I'm almost done. I think I haven't even said what I'm using this book for. I just want to write down everything regarding the wedding. I'm just the kind of person, I need to write everything down to get it out of my system, to just get a clear and organized mind. So now that you have your 3, 4, 5, however many you want to do, little bookings, it's all about connecting the backside. And basically what I do for that is just the same thing. I'm just using some yarn and sewing these back pieces together. Honestly, I don't think there's a proper way to do that. Basically, just make sure that everything is connected. I'm just kind of going like this, like a zigzag kind of thing, one way, going down all the way and then up again. Do whatever you want, honestly. This is very makeshift, so just whatever feels good to you, do that. So this next question is kind of interesting. So she asked, is there something about the planning process that you're particularly excited about, like picking a theme, colors, decor, outfits, etc.? Yes, I think the outfits are a big one. Obviously, I just love fashion. My boyfriend, not my boyfriend, which I have to stop saying now, my fiance actually, he's not that much into fashion, but he said he's fine with whatever basically, and I really want him to wear a double buttoned suit. I love that. I think that's such a classy look. So that's kind of what I'm going for with his outfit. I'm also very excited for the decor because I also want to see like how sustainable I can make this, how 60s I can make it, with basically, yeah, just doing as much as possible myself, and really doing some fun things with the decor. I, as I said, really want to use thrifted dishes and thrifted decor, vases. For me, I honestly really do not care at all whether the pieces are matching or not. Like, I don't need a full set. I just want them to feel kind of the same, if that makes any sense. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Also, for some reason, I'm very excited about the flowers. There's a lady with a flower shop where we live, and I need to go in, kind of talk to her soon. Also, finding the rings was quite the process because, I mean, this one I didn't get any say in it, but I love it. It is so perfect. There were also some questions on the engagement ring. This is it. It's not a vintage one, but it definitely has that vintagey feeling. In Germany you wear it on the left and then you change it over to the right once you're married, but I know it's different in different countries. But we are definitely looking at some rings. We've actually already kind of made our minds up. I'm just gonna put up a picture here of what I really like. It's kind of like a Baroque kind of style, I think. And so we went to like a local jeweler, and she basically yeah, just said that we can put whatever kind of design on it that we want, because she's gonna make it by hand anyway. So we need to make that decision, and then also decide like how much gold we want, which quality, and all of that. So that's definitely also a decision. Honestly, I didn't expect getting married to come with so many decisions, which probably is naive. But anyway, here we are. I'm also kind of excited about just then like decorating the place as said. Also excited for making the invitations, which I know people are going to say well late on, but I know my people and I know it's fine for them to not know this like 2 years in advance. I love that you asked about colors, because this is something that I'm actually considering doing. I know a lot of wedding parties kind of have like a color theme and these like kind of gifts and everyone gets one, and I kind of want to make vintage style buttons. But maybe once, you know, you can get them with like a magnet, because if you like people are wearing their best clothes, which some might, I just don't want them to ruin it with a pin. But then I think these pins are quite gentle. So yeah, I definitely want to do that for everyone to enjoy. And then yeah, I'm just gonna make a bunch of things myself. So it's going to be a very custom wedding. Yeah. And I honestly love that. I'm so looking forward to that. Okay, so for the next step, you are going to need some cardboard to make the cover. I'm just gonna use the cardboard that is on here. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good idea. I'm just gonna cut it off and then attach it. So I just cut off my bit of paper, and I know that this is going to fit right around this, because it's from, you know, like the same bit. But if you use something else, just make sure that it fits around the book. Also, if it doesn't work out, which in my case, because it is so thick, it might not, you can always trim the pages. So next up, this is the fun part. You can decide what you want to cover it in. I have some vintage fabric here. What I love to do at this point is just to kind of like take the different fabrics, hold them, see what I like. I think this one's too big. Oh, this one might work. It's like a little curtain. Oh yeah, this one is perfect. So I think I kind of want to do something like this. And then, you know, it folds like this. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. Okay, I got my bit and I got my paper. So now I'm just gonna do the same as I would with sewing. I'm actually gonna pin my fabric to the page and then just sew around it. It's pretty easy actually. So yeah, just gonna fold that over and pin it in place.
There's a coat of snow over Brooklyn, and the people seem so tired.
And all that's left now is to just sew around the edges. Basically, just like you would sew anything together, basically. This is very much just like sewing basic clothing pieces, I think. So I'm just using the same kind of stitch where you go back and forth. I would just recommend you to use a yarn that kind of disappears with your fabric. Okay, so the next question is whether you wear the engagement ring on your right hand or the wedding ring. In Germany, how like the thing is, and then also whether we're going on a honeymoon. Okay, so first of all, as said, engagement ring, left hand, wedding band, right hand. I have no idea why that is the case, but it's how it is done. And my engagement ring is a little big, so sometimes I will end up wearing it on my middle finger. Because I think what happened, because for a while I was like, Well, he clearly used a ring that fit me really well at the time to kind of like use the measurements for my finger. And I think what happened is that I was very heavily pregnant, or I had just given birth, but it was right around that time. And I just think my hand was probably still a little swollen. There was still just some water trapped. And so, yeah, that ring isn't quite my size, but that doesn't really matter to me if I'm being fully honest. I think once I have the wedding ring, it'll kind of help hold the engagement ring down. And then the next question about the honeymoon is actually one we are not too sure about yet, because basically I said we're gonna get married early June, and then in March we are gonna go to France, southern France, kind of like Saint-Tropez, that area, to stay. Like my mom, she rents an apartment down there basically, and we are gonna come and visit. So that at first we were like, that's a great little honeymoon. But then we kind of thought about how my partner also has work off in fall, and in fall there is another like holiday in Germany, and so this all kind of came pretty randomly, and we haven't decided on it yet. But basically the facts are that my partner's mom, who's a teacher, is off work during that time too, and they offered to take care of the baby, which he is not going to be a baby anymore then. He's going to be 1, which is absolutely insane. And so yeah, we are thinking about going away, just the 2 of us. It seems weird to me to go anyway, just the 2 of us, because we don't even really like do date night or anything. Basically everything we do, we just take the baby because he's the best and we love to hang out with him. But yeah, I feel like just having a couple days to ourselves would also be amazing. So yeah, that decision hasn't been made yet. I will keep you updated on that. But if we're going to go on a honeymoon during that time, I think we want to go somewhere not that far away, just in case, you know, anything might happen with the baby. So either we will stay in the country, or my partner actually has never been to Great Britain, so that would be an idea too. I loved Brighton a lot when I visited, so I feel like that would be an idea. Honestly, we will see. Maybe we will just like drive away an hour from where we are right now, because we don't dare to go away further from the baby. I have no idea so far. Also, if you want to speed up this process, just use a sewing machine. It is a lot quicker. And don't worry too much about the back side, because that side no one will see. It's all about making the front look pretty, and then anything else honestly doesn't even matter. I kind of want to read you that comment, because someone commented, I guess the main question is, will the wedding be 60s themed or 70s themed? But then the comment goes on and they say, don't answer that, I'm just joking. Take the time to find your favorite vintage wedding style, rather than committing to a look before you'd have the chance to try on potential dresses, then style the wedding around the era you chose to dress. I thought that that was quite the interesting comment actually, because as said, we really want to have like a late 60s feel to the wedding. But for me, this is kind of what happened, because I couldn't decide on a dress. So I was like, oh, for the courthouse, I kind of want to do Patty Boyd kind of style. As far as like the short wedding dress kind of goes, the dress is not going to be inspired by hers though. But yeah, I just really want to do that, and then just have a long bohemian style kind of dress for the reception and the party. That's kind of what I ended up with, and anyone else has to cave. No, I'm just kidding. But I feel like since my partner didn't really have that strong of an opinion, this is what we landed on. He, in case you're wondering, takes care of anything and everything food related for this wedding. So that's nice. I don't have to wrap my hand around that. I also, as you know, have a history with an eating disorder, so I'm not the person to ask about what others might enjoy to eat on a wedding, really. So I'm kind of relieved that he just took this in his hands. So now that this is done, it is time to attach the pages, and all you need to do is get another needle and just kind of sew all the way down and like sew this bit together. I actually forgot explaining that, but basically that's all I did. You can also use a sewing machine, as that makes things quicker and a lot more clean. And so all that is left now is to trim the pages. So as you can see, the book is kind of like smaller than the pages, like the cover is a little smaller. So I'm just gonna trim the pages, and then that's kind of it. So I just finished cutting the edges, and this is my finished book. As said, I'm just gonna use it for all things wedding related. I feel like if you lay it like this, it's even prettier. This is the inside. You can just use it as a regular notebook. This is what the seam parts will look like, but honestly, it is a quick and easy thing to do for all of your secrets and special little belongings. And I love that you can just customize it with whatever kind of vintage fabric you want. So maybe let's end this with this next question. Will you be taking us along on your wedding journey? Yeah, I will. Long story short, I will. I don't know about like the day itself, but I definitely want to take you with me leading up to the wedding. When I go thrifting, when I put things together. Haven't decided on cake or anything yet. So yeah, definitely gonna take you along on planning and making our dream late 1960s wedding happen. So yeah, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this video. I had a great time. I hope you found this helpful. If you make one of these books or a bunch of them, send me pictures, tag me. I'd love to see it, honestly. I love the idea that we all have these little books and they kind of connect us. So yeah, I'd love to see yours. Just tag me if you have one or make one. I hope you have a beautiful day. Go out, enjoy the sunshine, take yourself some time to focus on you and your mental health today, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye everybody!
I hope you don't